Let's see if I remember how to do this. Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, today is Friday, but this is a new episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I am your humble and gracious and seriously gracious host, Davin Jackson. Thank you for joining. Gonna get right into it, but before I do, I heard y'all. We're gonna get into this in a couple weeks when we do the season premiere, but I appreciate all the love and all the messages and all the support and all the personal threats I've received to come back. Um, Today is not that day, so I appreciate the love in the comments and of course my pack. I love y'all, but today is not about me. Today is about an event that we have talked about before, and it's an important event. The event is still going on today. It is ran by three amazing women, and the object of today's event is to highlight and amplify voices of different people of color and diversity all over the cybersecurity realm. And I was moved to just have people come on, and I really wanted to invite everybody who participated on there. So if you guys got the link, just hit the link and you'll be in the lobby. But enough about me. Let's welcome my guest, share the mic in cyber. We have Caitlin, we have Lauren,
Hey, Lauren.
and we have Tanisha Martin of Black Girls Hack. Ladies, hi. How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear all of you. Okay, so how are y'all doing?
I'm doing well, and I just have to say thanks so much for throwing this, Davin. Folks need to buy this man a coffee because this was like, afternoon. He's like, should I do this? I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing it. It's already ready. It's going to be live soon. We're jumping on it. And you can see, like, I'm in my Blacks in Cyber sweater. I'm like totally decked out for Share the Mic in Cyber today in my basement looking at the computer.
I am like so excited. Like when I went to sleep last night, it was like shortly after midnight, and I was like, this is better than Christmas for me. Like Share the Mic in Cyber, I look forward to because it's just one big like absolute love fest of like, just lifting the voices of the Black practitioners. And it's just like, the unsung heroes that like, you don't typically hear about. I think that it's absolutely amazing, and I thank you for coming out of your retirement vacation to hang out with us.
Well, thank you. Still getting used to this new. I guess they made some changes to the studio while I was on my hiatus. But thank you. Yeah, it was just really organic how that happened. Kalila Scott, who I know is in the chat, and shout out to Kalila. Um, we were talking about how today we weren't doing any follow Fridays. Honestly, we weren't tweeting anything. The point of today was to listen to the stories of everybody else. So it was just a big retweet fest. So I'm surprised I haven't gotten shadow banned on Twitter for retweeting so many in a short amount of time. And then I thought about doing a Twitter space, and I said, no, it literally how you see it happen in the thread was legitimately how it happened. And it was like, okay. So I reached out to you ladies and Camille. Shout out to Camille. I know she's not here, but I know she plays an important role in all of this as well. To make sure that I wasn't going to step on any toes. And once I got the green light, it was like, okay, cool, let's go. So I'm glad it worked out that way. I did send out the link to a bunch of the people who participated. So if anybody wants to join, you are more than welcome to. I see that there are a couple participants here. Naya Moss, do you want to join? If so, let me know, and I will give you the actual event link. But while we're waiting for that, why don't you ladies tell me how your day has been going?
First, I just want to say, Devin, it's always so good to see you. And, I definitely want to hear everything that's going on. But yeah, I'm tired. It's always such a day, when we do this. So if I sound incoherent at all, I'm a little fried, but in a good way. So I look forward to having a glass of wine tonight and celebrating too. I mean that's what this is all about. So yeah.
You earned it.
Thanks.
I mean, I like I said, I saw, I see how you ladies are, moving in the different Twitter spaces and the following the threads, and it's just been one thing after another. I'm like, okay, they've got to be exhausted. So
Can we just say though, like Jen Easterly and Rob Joyce for stepping up and being allies this time. I mean, you have people from just the very top doing this. I'm just blown away. So
yeah, it definitely. Go ahead.
I can't co-sign that enough. Like seeing Talia, who I absolutely love, taking over. I think it was maybe Rob's page was it was so major. Like when I saw it, I was like tapping my screen, like, wait, what happened to his picture? And I was like, yo, that's her picture. And it was like, I have chills right now just because like, I am so excited that they, number one, got involved in the campaign, but then also are like, living up to like the full potential of it, letting them take over their platforms, using their platforms, and that's some major platforms, to be able to like, raise the profile of people who are out here doing things. Shout out to Black Girls in Cyber. Like I absolutely love to see it. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I looked at that today too, and I was like, wow, like that profile looks really good on you, Talia. I love the NSA logo right behind you.
Oh, and her picture is awesome too. It like all worked. I was like, yes.
That was great. And just to say for folks who are watching now, I'm watching the tracker of what's happening. We're at 3.6 million for our reach today on Twitter alone.
Amazing.
And we've had 10.8 million impressions of just the hashtag share the mic in cyber. That's not even counting the many posts that have gone out, all of the Twitter Spaces conversation, this conversation with Davin. So that is just absolutely huge.
That's amazing. Did that beat the number from the last event?
We're maybe halfway there. I'll say we do have the rest of the day, so I'm gonna do one more big push. But I think we'll get there. I have strong belief in us this time.
Yeah, I think so too. So before I go any further, again to my pack, I love y'all. I see that there actually have been some super chats from Kalila and from Ty. Thank you. I appreciate the love and support. And like I said, we're going to get into all of it in a couple weeks. Like I said, for I guess you could call it the season premiere, but I definitely appreciate it. And I did send out the link again. If you did participate in the Share the Mic and Cyber event, any of the events for that matter, feel free to click the event link. I'll put it in the chat because I trust y'all, and y'all don't want to make me act a fool on such a great day that we had today. So please be respectful like always. You can tweet it if you want. Like I said, I put it in the chat. I put it in the LinkedIn. I want everybody so far. My pack, I do have one thing I just want y'all to make sure everywhere you're going, whether you do it here or do it on social media, do a hashtag share the mic and cyber. Let's get that engagement rate going. I want to break that record and support a great cause. So I guess while we're waiting, I did send a message to Naya. I hope she will join us. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. I will try that. I see you. I'll try that. What are some of the highlights of the day that you think, that you hope people haven't missed out on or anything like that? What was the highlight of your day so far? I'll let Caitlin go first.
Honestly, it was just waking up and already having posts be populated on my feed and being able to love and appreciate and read everything. I think as a host, sometimes we don't take, or at least I don't take the time to really slow down and read folks' stories. And that's something I'm trying to make a very concerted effort to do this round, and realize I need to, take that time, slow down, read, really appreciate the effort that's gone behind this for many participants. And then, of course, there's always like great, moments. We got to recap how Rep. Lauren Underwood had supported us in the past. In this round, we got a surprise tweet from Congressman Langevin, which was fantastic to kind of see that unfold. And so I think that there are always these surprises each campaign. But for me, it's really important to read folk stories, especially because a lot of them are about reflecting on the pandemic. So things like, getting pandemic puppies, which Isaiah Grisby shared today, and my partner Stephanie Schilling both shared. Just seeing those personal moments from everyone was really important for me, especially because I know so many of us are isolated. We're in our houses. We're doing this virtually. It's good to have that like interpersonal contact.
Absolutely. Lauren, what about you?
Yeah, I echo Caitlin, and I'll just say that I am going to take some time this weekend to really read through, those posts. It's like the things at the human level, right? So the relationships that I've made, my partner on Twitter, Tasha Denos, and then my partner on LinkedIn, Kingsley Amadi, getting to know them, getting to know their journeys, understanding their goals, and trying to help in whatever way I can. And then, all the way up to what Kaylin said, when we have these surprises like Jenny Sterling, for instance, and Rob Joyce and Congressman Langevin, and last time when we had Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, talk about it. And this isn't meant to be a flex in any way, but so Chris Krebs was at Harvard yesterday, and he was doing a couple events with us, and he was just like, hey, how can I help? How can I amplify? And Julia Kayyem too. And then to like get the call that Jen was going to be participating. It was so hectic, but really wild. And I don't know, it's probably going to take a few days just to process, but I'm always just so blown away and grateful to be in this space among you all. And, everyone's such an expert, and I just learned so much from everyone.
Tanisha, what about you? Is this your first time doing the event?
I actually did it in March, and that was the first time. But I was telling folks in my squad that I don't think that I will ever not do it again. If for no other reason than I absolutely love the idea of just the profiles of Black practitioners, Black cyber practitioners being raised, and I see the potential, I see the vision, I see why. You see folks like Camille and Lauren getting all of the praises and all of the awards, because it's single-handedly, 2 days a year, you have people who are basically lifting the voices of people who, maybe represent less than, 15% of the cybersecurity industry. Right. And, the fact that, like they said, however many millions of impressions on Twitter is absolutely amazing. And, I see the potential for, the jobs to be, gotten, and the networks to be, extended, and the, opportunities available, and the certifications to be, received. And, I want all of that for, the people who are trying to, increase diversity in cybersecurity. So I absolutely love this for what it is that it's doing. And I think I mentioned to you guys earlier, the fact that my girl Talia has basically taken over, I don't know if you guys can see this, has taken over the NSA director's Twitter page today, and you go there and it's hey, I'm Talia, and I'm just this. It's so major to me, that one, that they would participate, and two, that her and her organization gets this level of profile, because it's absolutely amazing. I think that any light that's being brought to people who are trying to increase diversity in cybersecurity is time well spent, I think, for our cause.
Absolutely. I totally 100% free. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just think more and more people, I hope, are getting it. And I do want to thank so many organizations like CyberScoop. They have published a number of our op-eds that talk about this stuff, and they had their Cyber Week, and they allowed us to give a keynote speech on this subject, on how diversity is national security, it's cybersecurity, et cetera. And I know I'm forgetting a number of CISA, of course. They asked us to do a speech for their annual cybersecurity summit, and so I was able to, to go down there and record a speech for them. But like, these organizations are getting it. They're, promoting this idea that diversity is national security, and they're walking the walk as well as talking the talk too. And I just think it's incredible.
Yep. And I'm going to touch on that in a second. But before I do that, we do have another guest. Had to send her a message in the background. And also for those watching, I know you see the cameras and stuff moving. Please forgive me. It's been a while. I'm getting used to this all over again. But
wait, is this literally like your first time in a couple, like since
June?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
It's very smooth. I wouldn't have known.
I mean, I've guest hosted a couple places. I've been a guest on other places, but as far as InfoSec Unplugged, June 28th, I think, was the last episode, and I had stopped, and I think the last one there was a Twitter space, and I think Caitlin and like 5 other people basically called me out in the space. So
just harassing him to develop more content for us. So in the time we've been talking, we jumped up from 10.8 million to 11.2 million impressions. So just doing a real, real-time tracker. And also have to say, like Lauren said, the day of the campaign is awesome, but afterwards, the scholarship fund, the stories we hear, folks getting more positions, developing relationships. That's what we really want to chat about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do have someone else who just joined us. So Naya, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, Naya.
Okay. Naya, thank you for joining. And welcome to the show. If this is your first time watching, this is InfoSec Unplugged. I'm Davin Jackson, and you already know these ladies. So why don't you go ahead and just give us a brief introduction of who you are and what your experience has been so far today?
So just a short bit about my background. So I'm from New York City. I'm currently living in Eastern Europe. I've been in IT and information security for about 13 years now, and I am the founder of Frau Wies. We are a company where we elevate and support Black women in tech.
Amazing. And is this your first time participating in the event?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. Okay, so then I can ask you, how was your very first Share the Mic in Cyber experience?
Yes. So I should add. I was supposed to attend previously, but I wasn't able to due to work obligations. But it's been amazing. I have to say, this is like probably the first time in my career where I feel like really like supported, just like from just different folks that I've never met before. I mentioned to my partners today that usually with the work that I do at Frau Wies, it's usually me elevating other Black women. So it was just really nice to get to tell my story and get to share, the work that I do in security, because I've always just kind of been that person in the background that, I don't really talk about like what I do, but I see that now it's been really helpful and very encouraging for other folks to also hear my story.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, you want to go in a little detail about your story, because again, this is about amplifying you. So let's get to it.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, where should I start? So
Wherever you want.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said wherever you want to start.
Yeah. Okay. So how did I get started? So I mean, really, it goes back to when I was a kid. So first, before entering in security, I worked in IT. In Harlem, I started like doing IT and help desk work for folks in the neighborhood, for businesses, and this was like during high school. And then later I went to like start fixing like cell phones and like really turn this into a business. And it wasn't until I entered into college that I like realized like I can do this as a profession. Like, folks always told me that, but I didn't believe it. And I was like not lost, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Like I wasn't sure if I should do IT or like art. So actually later in my career, I ended up working in a lot of spaces that let me mesh the two of like art and like IT. And then it wasn't until working in startups really that I got into security. And it was very simple as just I was doing IT work and then they needed someone to do security. And I just happened to just be studying security. I just happened to have interest in it and then just took on those responsibilities. And here I am a couple years later and now doing security full time.
Nice. That's great. And well, welcome to the world of cybersecurity. We have cookies. I'm being nice. I'm trying to be nice.
Not that kind of cookies, though. Different.
You want some cookies, though. That
Yes.
really sounds good right now.
So
I was excited. I was like, yes, cookies.
So we do have another guest. Let's see, Kalika Dennis. Let's see if I get you in here. Kalika, can you? I don't see you. I don't know if your camera's on. Is your mic on? Anything? Yes, no? Okay, hold on. Okay, so Kalika, I'm sorry, I can't hear or see anything. Try the link again. But we do have another guest who joined. Charles.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Charles? Thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, I was just talking to Naya and Lauren, Tanisha, and Caitlin. Is this your first event, your first time participating in Share the Mic in Cyber?
No, I think this is my second time, I think.
Okay. And how's your experience going today?
Oh, it's always fun and exciting. I think it's a great opportunity to see other people and see other feeds in my timeline and everything else because I'm doing it through Twitter and everything else. So it's exciting. I truly enjoy this and just the opportunity to share, learn, and connect with new people.
Okay. And again, the purpose of Share the Mic in Cyber is to, talk about the different experiences of people of color and amplify them. So how did you get started?
So for me, like I mentioned my partner today, like I got started because I wanted to be a nurse. I had this innate thing about helping people, and my mother was a nurse and my grandmother was a nurse. So I was like, I wanted to be a nurse. And then my father brought home like this handy computer from Radio Shack, and it like changed my life in terms of like wanting to do like computer science and things of that nature. And I think the connection that made for me in terms of like helping people in information security was this idea of protecting stuff, like defending stuff. Like I really love like the whole blue team. Like my background was like incident response and detection engineering. Like I just love the idea of trying to protect and keep things and make them safe. So I got involved through that element of how do I keep things safe? How do I keep the things around me protected is my foray into information security.
Okay. So Charles and Naya, this question will be for both of you. So since you started your journey into tech and cybersecurity, and I know you may have touched on it during these events, but what challenges have you faced or that you still face in the field today? Naya, you can go first.
Yeah, so I am a Black woman in tech, so I think that alone is a bit of a challenge. But what I really have to say is has been a challenge for me. I know for some women, they might have some issues in the workplace, like with men. I've actually had a slightly different experience. I've always had lots of support from my coworkers, male and female. But one issue that I have had is when it comes to promotions in the workplace. That was always like a tough one to like navigate. I always felt like I had to work 10 times harder than my peers, and that was always really tough for me because I'm someone who's like, I'm very thorough. I've also been doing this work for like such a long time, and sometimes it's like very difficult when you're judged simply because of your race, your color, your age. That's another thing. One time I worked at a company where I was promoted, and then like 2 weeks later, the CTO literally said like, well, having someone like you in this space won't be a good look for us. And then went on to also talk about my age, which was completely irrelevant. So, I mean, these are the type of challenges that I've had. Like, as I said earlier, I'm so thankful that I haven't had too many really bad experiences, but the ones that I have had were always like race or like gender or age, and not so much about my competence. So yeah.
Right. And I think as I think growing up, I think we all heard the saying, you have to work twice as hard to get half of the recognition, right? You have to be twice as good. You have to always be on your A game no matter what. You have one off day, they will hold that against you, and um it's exhausting, right? It's physically and mentally exhausting to feel like you have to be on your A game every day, 100%. You see everybody else slacking, but you can't. You're not afforded those same liberties. So I totally understand and agree with you with that. Charles, what about you? What challenges have you faced in your journey so far?
Oh, I was just listening to that, and I was thinking of like the whole Papa Poke's speech in my mind with I don't know how many people watch Scandal, but that whole Olivia Pope scene and Papa Poke just giving her the speech, and just like thinking about that.
Yeah.
For me, I think the challenges sort of come. Hold on, apologize.
Okay.
I can hop in while he's got some stuff going on.
Yep.
I just really wanted to piggyback on the other young woman. I feel like as a Black woman who's been in like the IT space, there is that pressure to kind of like be twice as good. My coworkers would always joke because I was getting additional like certifications or additional like degrees, and they're saying how many letters do you need behind your name? But I mean, I think that the reality is
All
that
of them.
as a Black woman operating this space, I have to be 10 times as qualified for people just to feel like I deserve to be in the room. I've had people who've said that they assume that I'm non-technical because of the fact that I'm a woman, or there's assumptions that, people have, for why they may see me in a room. And I think that, especially when it comes to things like promotions, I was at a job for, 10 years, and, in that time I never got a promotion. I developed a business case, and, I got all the degrees and went through all of the hoops. But when it comes down to it and you look at the leadership structure, all of the people who were there in those positions were white men, and they couldn't, justify the business, I guess expense of, promoting me. But, when it comes down to it, it's like, hey, I'm still a Black woman who's operating in, what is not a traditionally, space for Black women.
Yep. I think we have Charles back. So Charles, it's on you again before I bring in the next guest.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry about that. For COVID, I've been inside the garage, so cars coming in and out. So I apologize for that.
We got to make the best of it as we can, right?
So I think for me, the biggest challenge was just compensation and understanding like how to be compensated. I don't know if I should use the word fairly or equitably in the information security, cybersecurity domain, and not understanding like how the rules of the road work with regards to base pay and RSUs and stock options and bonuses. Like in the beginning of my career, I think just hampered my understanding of like how to talk about money and how to understand the value that I bring to an organization and how an organization views me in return. Then also one of the other biggest things is when I moved out to the Bay Area was this idea of like being the one of one. And I had a weird experience where someone actually like approached me and called me someone else's name and looked like was having a conversation with me as if I was that person. And I'm like, I'm not that person for who you think you're calling. Like, my name is Charles. And then his response was, "Oh, there's another one of you." And I was just like, aside of me, was like, you know, the DC came out of me. I probably would have want to hit you, but I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I have to like have calm and control and sort of explain, like, no, like people like me do exist, and we do security. We are in the cyber. We are in the Bay Area. We do tech. Like, it's just this weird experience of always having to explain who you are, what you are, why you're here. Just as equal to be here and be able to perform. So I think those two things really stood out to me. But I think as I've progressed in my career, I sort of like don't care as much and advocate for the people who are around me that look like me. And as a hiring manager, make every effort to do so. So those are some of the challenges I faced.
Yep.
And I think we need to normalize talking about compensation, because like I think so many times in the Black community, we're taught that you don't talk about what you make, you don't talk about, what it is. And I'm not sure if like of other people, other communities also, have that kind of like unwritten rule, but, you don't typically talk about it. And I think that kind of hurts us in the long run, because, we're not getting what is our business value, in compensation, partly because, we're underselling ourselves. We don't know, especially like in the Bay Area, right? Like, that's one of those places where, you just really can't comprehend the type of money that could be made. But, because people don't feel like they should be talking about money, you just don't know,
Yep. And I'm trying to behave myself because I was going to go on a rant, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I reserve the right to go on a rant, but I'm going to hold on because we do have another guest. So, Kalika Dennis, thank you for joining us.
Hello, how are you guys? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. We can see you. Thank you for joining. So, is this your first experience with Share the Mic in Cyber?
This is, and it has been awesome. Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Well, don't thank me. The organizers are here. Thank these ladies, because
Thank you so much.
I keep telling them I don't know how they do it. I told like they've changed so many things. So why don't you take a moment to talk about yourself and how you got started in the tech and cybersecurity field?
So I graduated from the Howard University in 2006. I graduated with an MIS degree. From there, I started as a system administrator, but I always had a knack for cybersecurity. But at the time, the security jobs were already filled, and I didn't have any experience in security. So what I did for myself was I went back to school to get my MBA in information assurance in 2009. And so after getting my MBA, we had a contractor role available in security, and we had an open door policy at my job. So I talked to my CIO and told her, hey, I'm interested in security. I just got my MBA in it. Are you guys willing to work with me for me to maybe possibly either get into this contractor role, or is there something that I can do to work my way into the security team? And she was like, hey, if that's what you want to do, we're going to make it happen. So we actually got with HR, and they actually transitioned that position to a full-time position, and I moved over to the security role in my job that way. So that was awesome. And so from there, it was a smaller company, so I got a chance to actually touch everything in security. I got to do from the GRC piece, from the SOC piece. So I got to touch everything in security. And from there, I learned that I am more of the compliance side. So right now, I am in risk management at my current company. But that's kind of how I maneuvered my way into security. It was someone giving me the chance and seeing that I had the aspirations of actually wanting to do it and just giving me the chance of actually pursuing it.
That's dope. Since you started your journey, what challenges have you faced?
I would say, of course, being in, first of all, in IT, being a white male dominated industry in the first place, um, when I first started, well, first of all, she's young. She doesn't know what she's doing. Those type of feelings that I received from a lot of my male counterparts. Is also for me being, I have my MBA. I did also get my CISP, but having those things, even though I have these certifications and have the degrees, I still feel as though my voice isn't heard. I still feel like I have to work 10 times as hard as my other counterparts to get my voice heard or for me to even be seen. It's kind of like, oh, yes, she's there. She's done the work, but does she really know what she's doing? It's kind of like, people don't think we know what we're doing because we're not the majority in cybersecurity. So those are the kind of things that I faced. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, you're here. You're kind of like, I wouldn't say the token, but you're here. Thank you for being here, but do you really know what you're doing? Those type of things.
No, I'll call it the token because I feel like sometimes it's you're there to fill a quota. And I think it was Rob in one of your in one of the Twitter spaces earlier today, and shout out to him. He said it's almost an added level of pressure because it feels like you're the face of your people when you're in that field, right? Especially when you're the only one there. It's like I can't mess this up because I have to keep the door open for the next one. And too many times, if it doesn't work out with one, they feel like that's it. We tried our diversity thing and whatever. And again, that goes into something else. But I'm trying to behave myself. We're halfway through. We're halfway through the show. So please, if you guys want to join and talk about your experience and share the mic at Cyber, if you even want to come on and just thank the organizers, we have 2 to 3 organizers here. Please click that link. We shared the link all over social media. I've been sharing it again. I'm not being rude. I'm between trying to get used to the new setup and all of this. I've been trying to get more people to come on. And for my pack in the chats, please let me, show some love with a hashtag share the mic in cyber. Just go through real quick before I bring in the next couple guests. So Eric Ballardo says, hold on. Wash hands, elbow cough. Go get well. Go drink some ginger tea and get some rest, man. Ty says, hey, thank you. Ty, hey, and thank you. Eric says, hey again. Kalila says, guess who's Bizak? Hi, I'm working on it. She was another one in there. DFIR Diva says, hey. Professor Black Ops says, best intro in the game. Alshan Banks says, what's going on? Great to see you back. I'm getting used to it. It's actually, I'm actually nervous. This is crazy.
And I just want to shout out Alsh real quick. Alsh is actually our Black Girls Hack CTO, but this is the first time that he's actually participating in the share the mic and cyber. And like we had kind of had some conversations where he was like, "Do I really want to do this?" And I was like I don't care what else you do in your life. Like you definitely need to jump in and do this because like I feel like it's an opportunity that it's invaluable. Just the connections that you make, just the camaraderie, everything about this, I think about Share the Mic and Cyber is absolutely amazing.
And get used to it, brother, because I'm getting you on the show in 2022. So you're on the list. Just no pressure.
Devin, you had similar sort of reservations in the first one, I remember.
Okay,
No,
we're gonna do that. Yeah, well, yes. We did. Hold on. Anonymous, I see you. Let me get to it, and then I want to bring the other guests in real quick. Keep it techies here. Cover 6 Solutions. Oh man, y'all are I feel loved. It's not me though. It's the ladies here. I know, but that's okay. I'm hosting it, so. Studio Sec says share the mic con like a convention. That he asked you is if we do that in the future.
Well, we're trying to institutionalize the program. I'll say that. So more to follow.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. So before I answer your question, Lauren, let's see. We have Rainisha Jones, who is another participant today, who I had to spam to get in to join. And ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the chat, we are welcome. We are joined by none other than Ty Wilson. Ty Wilson of Cover 6 Solutions.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How we doing?
We're good. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I gotta say thank you to Lauren and Caitlin, and for setting this all up. Like, it literally changed the trajectory of my social media, right? Because I was literally getting like 60 follows a month, and then I joined the Share the Mic and Cyber movement, and then got 1,000 followers, and then like almost everything changed. So thank you for that. Thank you to all the participants. Like, this is a really, really, really good thing that we're doing. And, I'm trying my best to try to normalize, Black faces in tech. So let's get it.
Yes, sir. And Rainisha, how are you doing today, ma'am?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Hi, everyone.
So if you want to give a brief introduction of who you are and how you got started.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having me on your platform. And there's so many familiar, super supportive faces in the place right now. Black Girls Hack, Tanisha, Ty has been a huge help. Caitlin, Lauren, Camille, thank you guys so much for organizing this platform. So a little bit about me. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I've always been a techie. I was the kid that my mama called and hey, fix the remote. Hey, come do this. I assembled all the electronics. That was me growing up as a kid. And it really started with the family PC. I wanted a PC so bad. I wanted a computer so bad. And I ended up making one out of cardboard. Very long story. Made it out of cardboard, y'all. And it was like my pride and joy. So we ended up getting one. And I was playing a game. The CD-ROM broke in the computer. It had overheated. And I took it apart using some stuff around the house, put it back together, turned it on. Didn't get in trouble, and I live to be here now. I'm super happy about that. But what do I do now? So I just recently became a CMMC RP, and what that means is I'm a registered practitioner for the CMMC, and that's the framework that the DoD is using to standardize cybersecurity with all of the contractors and the individuals that support the DoD. And yeah, so that's why I got started. I'm from Memphis. We don't have a really strong tech base, so it just feels really good to connect with people worldwide that's on the same path that I'm on.
All right, and Black Girls Hack says, and she's our IT auditor. Rainisha is so dope.
I'm happy to be a part of the organization.
Yes. And I asked the other guests, what challenges have you faced since joining the cybersecurity field?
Being totally transparent, when I jumped out there, I thought that, wow, the need is so great. So the opportunities would be just the same. And while there are opportunities, like landing that first gig was a bit of a challenge. So I took it upon myself to, instead of waiting for someone to give me the opportunity, to create those opportunities. After earning my Security Plus, I was like, hey, I am a compliance girl through and through. I love auditing. I love assessments. I love evaluating security controls, and also delivering those results and working with people. So I just started to create opportunity for myself. I would say one of the challenges that I've experienced, I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that the industry as a whole could benefit as far as thinking about job descriptions and thinking about titles and requirements. I think that there's opportunity for cybersecurity practitioners to go hand in hand with HR a little bit more when crafting those roles. All too often, we see the entry level roles requiring that you have a certification that is very much so not entry level, and it kind of discourages the newbies. So I think that that's one of the challenges that I've faced. Sometimes those role HR just not really being informed with kind of what we do, and the demand being a little bit higher for the expertise than what one in the field would consider would be appropriate.
Okay. Right. All right. So I have one more person who wants to join. Um, so let's see. I just want to circle back. So Lauren, I did to answer your question. Yes, when it first came around, I wouldn't say skeptical, but I definitely was keeping an eye out, and I will explain that. And everybody here, I'm pretty sure can attest to this. When Share the Mic and Cyber first came about, it was what, late 2019, or was it
No,
last year?
it was
2020 felt like 5 years. Forgive me,
exactly.
but I was going through a rough patch personally in my career. But also we had the pandemic and we had everything that was going on with the protests and the police killing of George Floyd and just everything that was happening. And too often, and please shut me the hell up if I say anything that you think is going to possibly ruin anything, but welcome to my show. Too many times, and we see it in businesses, corporations, politicians, the powers that be, whoever, they jump on certain tragedies or certain movements or certain hashtags or certain whatever to gain notoriety. And last summer, you saw a bunch of people who said that, Black Lives Matter. They supported all types of diversity. They supported LGBTQ IA. I hope I said that right. Please, if not, forgive me. That they supported everything and everybody. They supported inclusion. They supported diversity and everything. And quite frankly, we knew a bunch of them were full of shit. Right? And the only way you could tell was time. So and not to rehash something, but just last week we saw some people who claim to be allies came out and basically said, don't expect allies to actually speak up for you. What's the definition of an ally? So yes, a lot of us were very apprehensive. I think I was one of the few who actually just came out and said, let's see what happens. But what I will say about this particular movement is that you have shown and proved me wrong. Thankfully, you have shown and proved everybody that you are here to stay and that you are consistent with your message. And that is what is needed more than anything. Consistency. And we want you to be for the allies. We want you to be genuine. We want you to be consistent. And we want you to speak up even when it's uncomfortable to you, because if it's uncomfortable to you, imagine how it feels for someone else. So yes, I was a little apprehensive at first, but now, like I told you this morning, anytime I see you guys doing anything, if I can hop in and join and support you, you got me for life. So, again, thank you for all of that. And I know Camille's not here, but when you talk to her, you can tell her the same thing. And we do have another representative, and I am super grateful for him to be on here because he's not feeling good. So I want all of y'all to please show him some love and tell him to get well. Give your favorite home remedy recipes in the chat. But we do have Eric Ballardo here. He is the founder of Raices. See, I can roll my tongue. And he's also the host of New Battlefields, which I helped co-host a couple months ago or last month. But I will be sharing Thursday nights with him on the live stream. So welcome, Eric. And you wanted to take a moment to just say a couple things?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all the organizers for Share the Mic in Cyber. You guys have done an awesome thing for increasing the visibility of just all the underrepresented persons out there in cyber. I just think that what you guys are doing is amazing, wonderful. Next time I'm hoping you'll bring in the Hispanic community. As you guys know, our foundation is to bring in the visibility of the Hispanic, Latino, Latinas, and Latinx in the community. So bring those voices in as well for these amazing people that are out there in the industry. So, but what you guys have done is amazing. I've been sharing all your stuff today, even though I've got bronchitis. But I'm here.
You shouldn't be talking. You shouldn't be talking, but I appreciate the love and support.
Yeah,
Now,
thanks, Eric. Appreciate that.
Now go get some rest, sir. All right, take it easy. Army sucks. Bye.
Bronchitis. I think that just means you need a louder mic.
No, I messed with you. I didn't. Oh, he left. I didn't really kick him out. I just wanted to shut him up before he said something about Air Force. All right, so we have
Air Force 7, like a long, long time ago, but I was Air Force.
So
super, like early 2000s.
It doesn't matter. So was I. Early 2000s. All right, so we have about 10 minutes left. If anybody wants to join, again, please click the link, join the lobby. Why is my phone going off? Oh, that's
Davin,
because
since when did you have a time limit?
I said because I'm trying to be respectful. This is an all-day event.
You're right.
And hey, listen, y'all. I'm trying to. You know what? You're right. No, I'm messing with you. All right. So, like I said, if anybody else wants to join, please, now is the time. Click the link. If not, do we have? Let's see what questions. See, this is why I muted you. That's why I put you back in the lobby, Eric. Oh, we have. Okay, so Eric, hold on. Sorry, sir. I have a guest who's trying to join, and apparently I am at my limit. Go get some rest, sir.
I've actually got a meeting that I need to drop off for, but my husband is prior Army, so I just want to put that out there. His name is Eric also. So
okay. All right. Well, Tanisha, like I said, we still got to schedule that talk.
Absolutely.
So, all right, but
I'll hold you to it after vacation.
After vacation, go enjoy taking over the world. I'll see you next time. All right, and then let's see, who do we have here? Oh, we have another special guest. We have Josh Lacey, aka Keep It Techie. Josh, what's going on, sir? You're on. You're muted. Your mic's muted. All right, speak now. Nope. Give you one last chance.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. So we have a few more minutes left. So if you wanted to give a brief introduction of who you are, and then if you wanted to give a message to the organizer, the participants of today's event, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. So I'm just happy to come up, and I appreciate what you guys are doing with the Share the Mic hashtag, as well as the movement and everything. You guys know I've been in the IT field for a number of years as well, just pushing the message. And it's one great thing about what you guys are doing is it kind of ties to something that I say a lot. We always got to put ourselves out, or we need to start putting ourselves out there more as far as people that work in IT. Now, I don't work in cyber. I do database administration, but cyber is incorporated in all areas of IT. And so I always say we gotta put ourselves out there in front of people, so to try to get more people into the field. That's one of the things I like about what you guys are doing, and I just wanted to show support, come up here, show support, and and just say I really like what you're doing, as well as what you're doing, Devin, as well. So appreciate you guys.
Likewise, sir. You know what it is. So if I'm still getting used to this. This is crazy. All right. So again, like I said, we have a few minutes left. I'm trying to be respectful of time. But again, and like I said before on the last time you ladies were on the show, um, what you're doing is changing, like Ty said, changing the trajectory of so many things. You have so many people who were scared or fearful of being in the field, uh, felt like they had to fight just to justify their existence in this field. Um, like uh, like Charles and Naya, I think talked about before, weren't sure of how to get paid. Employers, start throwing a lot of words around, and a lot of us don't come from spaces where we know what the rightful wage is. And they throw some of these numbers out knowing that they're still railroading us, but it's almost like they're dangling a carrot in front of you, right? I had a guest previously who talked about a place that he used to work for, and every time he thought about leaving, they basically tried to up his equity or his RSUs or whatever, and it was like a golden carrot, and it was almost this unattainable thing because you had to deal with so much more crap to just to get to that point. And he ended up turning away, I think when he said he turned away $1.3 million, because his mental health just wasn't worth it. And I think that as even though that's commendable, I think that wasn't fair to him. That wasn't fair to him because people take advantage of people who they feel are without or come from different backgrounds. Like, I didn't know anything about equity until I got into tech and started really dealing with startups. I didn't even know that was an option, right? And then you'll sit there and have some of these conversations, and it's almost like well, I forgot what movie it was when everybody started talking about how much they got paid, and the guy was like, "Wait, y'all got paid?" Like, that was that's what it felt like, because it was like that was a thing. How come no one told me? How come no one offered that to me? And it was just like, oh, whatever. And it really detracts or deters people from pursuing this field full time, or even trying to bring people in the field. And one of my goals is when I decided I was going to come back after the first Share the Mic and Cyber event, when I decided that I was going to do cyber full time and come back into it, my main motivation was I have kids who are very into tech, but I don't know if I want them to be in this field because of the same things that we're talking about here and that everybody has talked about in the previous events as well as today. So my goal is I need to leave. Basically, I need to leave the game better than what it was when I walked in. Because if my son, who's sitting right here with me now, or my daughter, he says hi, by the way, or my daughter, or my niece, or anybody from the future generations that we're responsible for, come in here and have to deal with a lot of the same crap and none of it's changed, then I feel like we failed. And I'm not failing my kids. So that's one of my main whys. So before we close it out, Lauren, Caitlin, you've been here before. Ty, you've been here a couple times, but we have Naya and Rainisha. We're gonna run down the list. What's your why? Start with Lauren.
Oh, I'm on the spot. My why. So I mentioned I was in the military a very long time ago, but that, and it was in the Air Force, and one of the sayings was integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And even though I've been out for a really long time, that's always stuck with me. And I like to be known as somebody who runs toward the fight. you know, I know this is a little heavy to share now, but you asked for my why. You know, my little brother was killed in Afghanistan, and you know, I went to Afghanistan after him to fight for him, and that's always been sort of part of my, you know, my why, I guess you can say, to fight for others, I guess you can say, and use my platform because, you know, I've been afforded a platform, you know, and there's still a lot of struggles that I face too. You know, I'm hearing a lot of people, and I feel the same, you know, sort of things sometimes. But yeah, sorry to be so heavy with everyone, but that's my why.
Don't ever apologize. Don't ever apologize. That's your truth. So thank you, and thank you for sharing that, by the way. So, Caitlin, what's yours?
Definitely part of my why is being able to work with Lauren and Camille, these women who care so much, who are so humble, who are so deeply giving, thoughtful. I said this the other day, but I think I text them or email or message them more than anyone else in the world, and I'm sure I bug them constantly. But it's just so good to be surrounded by folks who are really positive, who care, and who want to do the work associated with embracing diversity in cyber. And so I think that's, you know, part of it is for me these relationships and uplifting these women, and then also the participants in the campaign. Right? We've been talking, oh, you know, it's so great, thanks to the organizers. No, thank you for participating in the campaign. We owe you coffee. If we see you around, like, I'm going to buy you a coffee. I'm going to, you know, hang out and say hello. Because this is all about you and what you've done. We create, you know, some sample things, some images. This campaign would not go anywhere if it were just the three of us. It's all about participants. And you are all my why and your Shared Mike and Cyber's why.
Okay, well, thank you. Naya, it was your first time. I hope that you'll be back for a second round, but what is your why?
Yes, I would love to come back for a second round. Actually, everything that you just said in your ending there was so touching to me. My why is to inspire other folks and women and Black women that come from where I come from. You know, something that I talk about quite often is growing up in Harlem was quite rough for me. The schools I went to were always pretty great, but you know, I either had teachers that were really inspiring and they saw my potential, or I had teachers that were like really bad and said things like, you know, you'll never grow up to be anything, and just kind of like hearing such negative things growing up, and people telling you like what you're going to be when you grow up, and them all being negative things is definitely quite tough. And so I think that, you know, what keeps me going is just knowing that I've gotten to where I've gotten to now, and that, you know, just someone else hearing my story and where I come from and all the things that I've been through, and the fact that, you know, I was able to move out and have my own place and make six figures all by the age of 21, thanks to working in like IT. And so you know, I don't say those things to brag, but just to show folks that, you know, you can come from almost nothing and, you know, work in tech and get certs and, you know, lift yourself up out of, you know, a situation that, you know, probably wasn't the best. So that's my why. And actually I have a like a second part to it too, just to be very quick, is also, you know, that working in cyber and working in IT, you can set your own path for yourself, which is something that, you know, folks in other fields don't really get to do. The fact that I'm able to travel and live where I want and work and then set my own schedule, to me is truly a blessing. So these are my whys. Yeah, just hoping that it inspires the next person. And I also just want to quickly say thank you to Caitlin, Camille, and Lauren. I don't think I said thank you to you all earlier, but this is a really amazing platform that you all have put together.
I agree. All right, so we're gonna go with Rainisha, and then we're gonna go with Ty. So Rainisha, again, I hope, like I just said to Naya, I hope that your experience was a great one, and that you will come back and support it in future events. But what is your why?
Absolutely, I'll be back. So my why, it does stem from me being a little girl. Like I said, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. We've got great music, great barbecue, but there are some challenges here, particularly with things like poverty and crime. And for so long, I've been in spaces and places where people had already defined things for me. They just looked at me, or they just figured, based on who you are, this is who you are, or this is what you'll be, and no more. No, I was never going for it. So I've just always been somebody to want to set my own path. I've always liked technology. I didn't see many people that looked. Let me take that back. I didn't see anyone that looked like me doing the
Talk
things
about
that I wanted to do. Um, the cardboard box laptop that I built that from an easy bake oven that my mom got me for Christmas. The easy bake oven box. I'm sorry. And it was weird back then to be a girl and into technology, but this is what I loved. So my why is to defy preconceived notions that people have or have had for me, or limitations that they've had for me based on their limited expectations. To that, I say no. I spent time when I was an IT services manager for a private school here in Memphis. A few months into the role, I immediately threw on my hat and I said, let's build an apprenticeship for these students. And I was able to gather some bright kids to give them an opportunity to earn CompTIA certifications, to get real world experience. And it changed the trajectory of their life. Um, I just believe in creating spaces and places for people who at first felt like they didn't belong, or that they couldn't be in those places. The second part of my why I've decided to really laser and focus in on supporting the DoD in the defense of our supply chain. My granddaddy served in the Army. He was my hero. He was an absolute hero. And as I grow older, the respect that I have for him just really deepens. He really thrived on things like order and being respectful to other people, and integrity, and treating people well. And these traits they just resonate with me. And that's what inspired me to go the CMMC route. So, but yeah, overall, people will, have the audacity, have the willingness to take big, bold risks, be a fearless failure. If you fail forward, take the notes and keep it moving, and try and show up in those spaces and places where, many people don't look like you, because you belong. If you're good at it and you thrive, you belong. And that's why I'm so grateful, because I was really in a shell and really kind of hesitant to participate. So to the organizers and the participants of this, you just don't know how you're positively improving the family tree of many people, and including my own. So thank you so much.
I also agree. All right, so we're gonna go with the man, the myth, the legend, my big brother, who I hope to be like one day. Ty Wilson.
Hey,
You know the routine by now.
yeah, sure. So my why, aside from my daughter, it's the people, right? It's that younger generation. I don't want to fail your kids either. Along with those other kids that are out there, the kids that look like me. I know what this industry has done for me, and I want to be able to provide that opportunity, to as many other people as I can, without them spending as much time as I've spent trying to get there. And, I know I don't have millions of dollars to invest, but there are things like retweets, my knowledge, mentorship that I can invest. And I want to normalize, technical competence and Black faces in the industry. And having, those individuals feel confident in themselves so they can make that transition from being new in the industry to feeling confident enough to be in a room and feel like they belong without having to think about what they look like, because that is freaking exhausting. So if it means I have to speak at 100 conferences, it means I have to do 100 more meetups or 100 more workshops, and that's what I'm going to do for the people. That's my why.
See, now you see why I said I want to be like Ty when I grow up. So, again, ladies, Lauren, Caitlin, please send my love to Camille. Like I said, I don't think there would ever have been an InfoSec Unplugged if it wasn't for the Share the Mic and Cyber event that I took part in. And I truly mean that. Like I said, just, again, thinking back to that whole experience, and that just, again, I remember how I felt that day, waking up feeling skeptical and going to bed feeling like my heart was full just from seeing the love and support that came from it, right? Ty talked about his engagement and stuff like that just blew up in a day. I got to meet some amazing people who are, like I said, genuine, consistent, and will speak up without having to be told or asked. You have people like Tracy Mayleaf, InfoSec Sherpa. You have people like Rachel Toback, who, if it wasn't for you ladies, you guys made the introduction so I could have her on the show. But you have all these women and men and people who I probably never would have even gotten on their radar if it wasn't for that event. And from that, seeing what that support did motivated me to finally come up with the concept, because I knew I wanted to do a live stream show, but that's where the concept of InfoSec Unplugged came from. So, like Renisha said, you have no idea the trickle down effect that you ladies have created just by coming together and saying we want to do the right thing. So I applaud you, I thank you, I commend you, and like I said, anything I can do to support, you know exactly how to find me. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, I'm back. Oh man, that was nerve-wracking.
But it felt good though, right? To get it out.
It did.
Yeah,
It did. I'm not back officially. The official date is November 4th. But if I had to break that day, there's no better reason to do it than for the Share the Mic and Cyber event. So I went back on my own word and said I was like, I'm not doing nothing till November 4th, and then I saw it and I was like, actually, and Kalila played a part in it too, because it's like I said, it started with a conversation that we were having, and I was like I literally did this, and then I found the meme online. But yeah, like I said, there are, like, before I kept saying, Ty's the only person who could get me out to do something when I said I wasn't doing anything. And then this event happened, and I was like, again, if I could share a small piece of the love and support I felt, then why the hell not? So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this has been another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I have been your humble and gracious and full of just love host, Davin Jackson. I want to thank my guests, Lauren, Caitlin, Naya, Ty, Renisha, Charles, Tanisha, Eric, everybody who joined, everybody who said they wanted to join and couldn't make it, everybody who's been watching, everybody who's on Twitter, because I am actually streaming on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And this is the first time I'm streaming on LinkedIn. Hopefully I didn't do anything to get kicked off of it. But if not, I will see you guys on November 4th with my guest, who actually also took part in the event today, Zinette Kamal, author of Proud in Her Hijab. So I will have her on because I was trying to get her from the last time around. But again, everybody, thank you. Please go enjoy your weekends. Don't get burned out. And I'll see y'all on the 4th. Now let's see if I remember how to do. Let's see if I remember how to do these up. And that was my son jumping in the background and making a fool of himself. And everybody saw that. So now you can jump up and say hello. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on, man. I'm already over time. Say hi.
So cute.
All right. I will see y'all in a couple weeks.
Thank you. Bye.